straight to the moon, get your ticket now. Everybody line up, get your tickets, we're going. Did you buy the tip? Yeah. Do you like rocket ships? Oh, what a human. You wanna try this shit? Yeah. We got everything you need, you better buy some kitty now. Everybody, everybody, long live Ponzi. Everybody, long live Ponzi. Everybody, love the Ponzi ride. Never short it. Bitcoin's back, alright.
Alrighty, good afternoon everybody. Welcome to Satoshi's Bitcoin Chart Show. This is the Bitcoin forecast, the strength of the system, the health of the network, where we find out what's up with what is going down in town and all around by looking at the fundamental figures. This is not trade analysis. This is not technical analysis. This is the fundamentals, the backbone analysis of what is going on under the bonnet. So I've decided I'm sort of like going to dedicate each show to kind of like a celebrity each day, because who knows, one day one of them might actually, well, I'm pretty sure they will eventually listen to my shows. And this one today is dedicated to this chap. Here he is, Nassim Taleb. Again, not sure if he's a genuine Bitcoiner or not. All we know at the moment is that he's negging out these shitcoiners, which is great. So who knows, on today's show we might have a quick look at it, and then I'm going to try and explain everything to him as quickly as possible. So if Nassim, if you are watching the show, nice to meet you. Good luck at the CoinGeek conference, and I'm sure we will meet one day soon. So without any further ado, let's just jump straight into it. Rock and roll. Right, so this is the first chart I'm going to bring up, and there's there's probably 4 videos I'm going to play with this, but this is just simply shows you what's happened in Bitcoin's history. So again, it's kind of like a fundamental chart, but there's 5 things that make the Bitcoin network neutral. It's accountability, which is why Satoshi designed Bitcoin with a chain of signatures, a locked protocol so that no one can change it, infinite scale, so there's always a new market to compete for, competition in terms of proof of work for true decentralization between those who economically sustain the network, and a fixed supply, which means no one can control it. So a fixed supply is just as important as a locked protocol. But really, with Bitcoin, if you want to centralize control of the network, you just simply tamper with the signatures, because it's the signatures that hold all the users and developers on the network to account, so that no one could do anything on the network that no one else would know about. Now, because Satoshi Nakamoto, aka Craig Wright, knew that he had to step away from the project and just simply let the network grow for a period of 10 years in order to dilute that central point of authority or control and influence, in order to make it a commodity, he knew the chances were exceptionally high that a group of nefarious developers would tamper with Bitcoin, which is why he developed this. And let me just show you this quickly. I should have brought this up. Here we go, check it out, Tulip Trust. This was the Tulip Trust doc. Let me see if I can enlarge this. No, oh, never mind. Can we? Oh, there we go, yeah we can. Hey, great stuff. Oh, we can see this now. Yeah, there we go. So to whom it may concern, CC and Dr. Craig Wright, I acknowledge the trust and the transfer of Bitcoins to the trust. I have full control of the software and the keys to manage the Bitcoin as of this date, Thursday, the 9th of June, 2011. And it says, I acknowledge I, Dave Kleiman, have received 1,100,111 Bitcoin from Craig Wright, New South Wales. At the time of the transfer, this is valued at around 100,000 USD. So Bitcoin would have been about 10 cents at the time. Now, 1,100,111 represented about 17% of the circulating supply of Bitcoin at the time, which is why it was locked up in the trust, so that when the keys were returned to Craig on the 1st of January 2020, There we go. All Bitcoin to be returned to Dr. Craig Wright on the 1st of January 2020. That marks the end of the period of neutral growth, dilution of the centralized starting point, and the period of speculation. So now we're in the period of adding value because the growth period has come and gone. However, during that time, because he couldn't come out and say who he was, because that would have discredited Bitcoin as a commodity, because it would have affected the neutral growth in a way if he'd come out and admitted who he was. This was the trust he'd set up in order to wipe it off the face of the planet, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. But just to show you, just to prove that that is what has happened, I've just got some videos here that we're going to play, so I can let other people explain it for you. So now we're now going to listen to Samson Mao, who is the Chief Strategy Officer at Blockstream, explaining that Blockstream control it, and the way they control it is they implemented SegWit, which segregate the chain of signatures on the network. Have a listen to this.
Bitcoin was created by the central bankers that enslave you today. It is their scapegoat.
How do you answer those, Max and Stacey?
I think the evidence is clear that they do not control it. There's 10 years, almost 11 years now of track record.
Yeah, Blockstream controls it.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Who does?
Blockstream.
Oh, all right. I was looking at you when I said that. Yeah, I'm a block. I have a spy. I'm one of the spies. No, so this, it's an interesting. Now that
it certainly is interesting, Max. Now that there's a and now we're gonna have a listen to Peter McCormack explain that Bitcoin is nothing like what it was when it first started. Take the floor, Pete.
Bitcoin is so different now from when Satoshi was here. It's a completely different project. It doesn't matter who Satoshi is anymore. Even if Satoshi came back, I don't think he would just be immediately welcomed as having this God-given right to decide what happens with Bitcoin. I think he would have to earn his right back into the project. Bitcoin is built based on consensus now.
What? Like it wasn't built on consensus before, Pete? You utter moron. And now we're going to have a listen to Tony Reyes and Daniel Krios. Take the floor, boys.
Why do you think BTC is valuable?
It's valuable because it's the only unconfiscatable asset we have, and that is because that comes from its decentralization. I think Bitcoin is the only valuable crypto asset we have because of the nature of how it started in its first few years.
And when you say Bitcoin, you mean BTC, right?
Absolutely.
But are you aware that in 2017 they changed the rules so that BTC no longer follows the Bitcoin white paper?
That is not true at all.
The white paper says that there needs to be a chain of signatures.
Sure.
Okay, so that's not what we have anymore. That's how SegWit changed that.
Okay, but it's still Bitcoin.
Love that. So Nassim, if you're watching, as you can see on this chart, so we got Blockstream that first of all created a chain split on the 1st of August 2020, and by the 24th of August 2017, and by the 24th of August 2017 they had already implemented SegWit and taken control of the network. So the Bitcoin protocol just simply had to carry on, but it carried on under a new ticker symbol called BCH. And then, would you believe it, another group of greedy developers wanted to take control of the network and did exactly the same thing by tampering with the signatures and colluding with the exchanges. So they implemented Schnorr signatures and cash fusion, which basically means that global trade and international commerce can no longer use it because it is not regulatory compliant. And if you don't believe me, we'll just let Roger Ver explain that himself, because he was the one that led the charge for doing this.
I have a question here from Satoshi, defender of Bitcoin. He said, if a cryptocurrency is anonymous, like BCH, I don't think BCH is anonymous, but maybe there is something.
Check out cashfusion.com and you combine that with reusable payment codes, and you get Bitcoin Cash in the same sort of ballpark of privacy as Monero. It's really awesome. So you can check out Cash Fusion, And I always get it wrong. I think it's .com, but it might be .org. So you can check both. Cashfusion.com.
Okay, awesome. So BCH, maybe using Cash Fusion and XMR, if they're anonymous, how can a business get legal recourse against a supplier if the supplier defaults and no proof on the transaction exists because anon?
Yeah, if you want your cryptocurrency to be perfectly legal for everything all the time, just go use your Visa card. Just go use your PayPal, right? What do you need a cryptocurrency for? You can do all of it with a centralized, fully legal and fully compliant payment platform, right? So go use PayPal. I think you've missed the entire point. The entire point of cryptocurrencies is that by technological design, they are beyond the reach of the law. They're above the law. That's why, imagine if Bitcoin could have been shut down by governments, they probably would have shut it down from right out of the gate. And it's the fact that Bitcoin can't be shut down. We should ask the BSVers this: if they pass a law saying BSV needs to shut down their blockchain, are they going to obey and shut down their BSV blockchain? I hope the answer would be no. Which is just, a lot of the stuff I see from some of these BSVers are silly. But then there's other BSV fans that, I'm very, very sympathetic to their way of thinking. But the ones that say that the blockchains all need to be legally compliant about everything all the time, just go use your Visa card.
Unbelievable. I mean, so long as you're not a complete numpty, you don't understand that what he's just said there is absolutely insane. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into these figures. Check it out. Coin dance, here we come. So let's just check out the prices. So we call it Coin dance saying 175 and Preve in the top left of the screen frame saying 176. That's all right. Shout out to Matty Ray and Arcade Rob in the house. Arcade Rob asking, who's that? Who's who? Just let me know what description you're after. I'll let you know. Right, so we've got Bitcoin, 0.3% of the hash rate, Bcrash 1.3, Coolcoin 98.4, network nodes on Bitcoin 1.8% for Bitcoin, 8.1 for Bcrash, 90% for Coolcoin. Transactions, look at 51.9% for Bitcoin, loving it. 11.7% for Bcrash, 36.3% for Coolcoin. But block size, this is where the fundamental value is, in block size and then transaction volume. Transaction volume will follow block size because block size is the chain being used. Bitcoin is the largest, most efficient data management system on Earth, on the planet, that has ever been designed in history. This is what Bitcoin is all about because it provides data sovereignty, data security, data efficiency, which is why people are uploading their data to the network rather than a corporate server who can just simply delete all your family photos and wedding videos on a whim if they don't like your political views or anything like that. This is why the Bitcoin network is going to be absolutely essential in the future. Block size on Bcrash, 5.9%, and Coolcoin 21.2. What a joke. Alright, let's move on quickly and just play Spot the Biggest Block on Bcrash for lulz. But before we do that, we're just going to have a listen to Roger Ver calling it Bcrash himself. Take the floor, Roger. Durr.
And we're going to really spread Bitcoin Crash across the entire country here in Antigua.
Yes, folks, you did hear that right. He did call it Bcrash himself. Let's see what we got here then. Do we have any? Oh, they've got a 1.2 megabyte block from Via BTC. Is that all they've got? Oh, dear, oh, dear. That's hilarious. Right, and now we're going to have a look at Coolcoin, but before we do that, we're just going to have a chat with our regular guest on the show, one of the most enthusiastic people about Bitcoin. Welcome to the show, Michael Saylor. So, I was reading the white paper the other day, and I was thinking about changing it. I was thinking about effing it up. I was going to implement, a SegWit, which would centralize control of the network. I was going to implement replace by fee and child pays for parent, and then develop like a second layer solution called the Lightning Network that would eventually starve all the miners and bring the net and basically sort of destroy the network. What are your thoughts on tampering with Bitcoin as to how it's designed in the white paper by Craig Wright?
I like Bitcoin the way it is.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're enthusiastic about that. So do we, Michael. But yeah, we also like it too. How do you compete with that?
In fact, I love Bitcoin the way it is.
Well, you can't leave it there, Michael. If you love Bitcoin the way it is, you're going to have to explain exactly what it is about Bitcoin that you like so much.
The way it's currently constructed, it is possible to put all $250 trillion of monetary energy.
Wow, $250 trillion of monetary energy. Sorry to stop you there, Michael, but I mean, those numbers are really impressive. I mean, where's that going to fit?
in big blocks of encrypted energy on the blockchain.
Wow, big blocks of encrypted energy on the blockchain. What kind of numbers are we talking about?
Maybe the Bitcoin will be 1 million. You can probably calculate $10 million of Bitcoin or something.
Wow, $10 million per Bitcoin or something. I mean, where on earth is that going to fit and where's it going to go?
Big blocks, $100 million chunks on the blockchain.
Is that right? Okay, well, let's have a look at that, shall we? 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6. 1.6, any more than a 1 point, is that it? Oh dear, and let's have a look at Bitcoin. Oh, SV pool on there in the first row, very good. So look at this, Nassim, look, 15 megabytes, 3, 18, 15, and remember these blocks in comparison to Coolcoin, you know, the equivalent block. I mean, this just goes to show you how fast the chain is growing with the amount of data going on chain. 15, 18, 15, 5, 3, 3, 5, 17. Oh, do we have any extra large big blocks today? Over 50 megabytes, 20, 34, 17, 23, 11. Oh yeah, that's all right. It's like I'm disappointed. Oh, look at this. Mining Dutch mine day up a 250 byte block. Good grief. So the reason we laugh at that, Nassim, is because there's a hash war going on where shitcoin enterprises like via BTC are basically trying to steal blocks, basically steal Bitcoin from the network without putting any proof of work into it, which is why they're mining small blocks. But look at this, actually, there's a variety of blocks in here down the bottom bit. So look at that, we've got F2 pool in there as well, Mining Dutch, SV pool, bit of a mixed bag there. That's pretty good. That's competition for you. That's what that shows. So hash rate again. So hash rate follows price, follows value, follows utility, follows creativity, initiative, and intelligence. If you are intelligent and you apply creativity and initiative, you can make something useful. When something is useful, it can then create value. When it creates value, it can then develop a price. When it develops a price, it can then be measured against the cost of other goods and services and used as a medium of exchange. That's what Bitcoin is all about. Proof of work by network again. Coolcoin Bcrash will simply fall into their own footprint like the Twin Towers very soon. Bcrash Bitcoin hash rate. Who cares? Bcrash Bitcoin. Proof of work. Who's bothered? But look at this. It is 16,800 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Coolcoin. And my goodness me, that's about maybe 12, 13 times cheaper than Bcrash as well. Absolutely amazing. Love it. It's currently 0.3% more profitable to mine on SV. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Maybe a little price go up, who knows. And it's 2.1% more profitable to mine on Bcrash, but who cares? Absolute waste of time. Daily average Bitcoin block size by network. Bitcoin absolutely smashing the data coming through the chain. Transactions per network, Bitcoin winning, we'll take that. Transactions per block by network, Bitcoin winning, we'll take that. Fees USD, so this is fees in the block. So this is to do with transaction volume fees. That's fee Satoshis in the block transaction volume. And this is the ratio of block fee versus block reward. So again, we've got percentages at the back here, and we'll just keep an eye on this over time because we're expecting huge increases in price and transaction volume at the same time. Look at this daily accumulated Bitcoin growth by network. Look at that. You can, as they would say in the London Underground, mind the gap. So the chart I showed you at the beginning about the chain, this was the first chain split. So the original protocol obviously was initially following the yellow line, then it started following the green line under the ticker of BCH, and then it started following the red line of BSV. And look at that, we have now got more data on chain than BTC, because BTC is an absolute pile of pap. And look at the acceleration of that, because it is being used. It has got more data weight and more data value on chain, and it's only going to go increase. Look at that. Absolutely sensational. Love it. Love it. Yeah. In fact, while we're here, we'll just simply check on this. Here we go, more details. So we can see the Bitcoin SV blockchain has grown by 11.36 gigabytes. More than the BTC chain, because BTC is an absolute pile of pap. Okay, and let's just go back to that chart. We'll just enlarge that one. Look at this. So 11.36 should be the difference between what we're going to see here. Look at that. Yeah, so Bitcoin SV 364.85 gigabytes in comparison to 354.73 gigabytes. Oh, love it, love it. And you can actually extend this screen along a bit, just to, just so you can, yeah, just to admire the gap. Loving that, beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's have a look at the hash rate just for politics. So global hash rate 7 days. Global hash rate 24 hours. It's more relevant at the moment. And we'll just compare that to CoreCoin down here. So almost identical. Look at that. Yeah, pretty much identical really. They've got, what, 98% of the hash rate at the moment. So that's what you'd expect. Bcrash, what an absolute joke. Hathor on there mining it for no other reason other than sheer spite, just simply spoiling the profitability for these shitcoin enterprises that are mining this complete and utter joke coin. And this here is Bitcoin. Look at this, Tal, 47.9, Hathor 25.69, F2 Pool on there. F2 Pool showing that they want some. Wanting some of that. Mempool Norpool still holding their own, that's good. Via BTC, we don't really want them on there. Squeeze them off the chain. Mining Dutch, don't know about them, but they're wanting some. BTC.com, don't know what they're doing on there. I suspect they might be with via BTC and just artificially suppressing the price for no other reason other than stupidity. Good to see F2 Pool on there. Just to see it'd be good to see another bit of Matterpool on there, would be pretty nice, but that's pretty good. So the whole point of this is to squeeze these shitcoin enterprises off the chain who are artificially suppressing the price through the short positions, which we will look at right now. Here we go. So this is Bitfinex. Look at this. So we started off with 92% short ratio, and where are we now? 89. Pfft, still not much of a change really. I mean, my goodness. Shorting Bitcoin, absolute fools, absolute fools. So this is Bitcoin Blocks Live. This actually shows you the network working live in front of our very eyes. It blows my mind every time I see this. So these are vertical rectangle blocks moving across the top of the screen are the transactions being recognized by the network. Once the transactions are recognized by the network, they're then thrown into the memory pool, which is where they're competed for by the miners and payment processors in order to create a block, put the transaction within the block, and then place the block on the blockchain, which you can see down the bottom, which is when they're rewarded with the Coinbase data, otherwise known as the block reward, otherwise known as freshly minted Bitcoin. So you can see Nassim, if you're watching, we've got a 34.18 megabyte block there, and in the highlighted rectangular box below, we've got the hash number of the block height, who it was mined by, size, time, date, transaction count, and total fees. Now it's these fees in the block that will eventually surpass the block reward as the increase in the volume of usage of the chain increases over time. And so just to remind ourselves, just have a look at this. These mining operations, all this is what goes towards the screen that we've just seen, literally. So we might be looking at a screen thinking, yeah, but so what? But I mean, look at the infrastructure that goes in behind it. Look at the investment that goes into processing this data to put it on chain. All of these mining operations will be mining the genuine Bitcoin, which is BSV, very soon. It's absolutely awesome. Yeah, so I mean, look at that. I mean, this, can you believe it? What we just looked at there, that's the infrastructure for what we're looking at here. This is the process. It's a beautiful, beautiful website, this one. So we're just going to have a look at charts quickly, see if there's any more movers and shakers, any more D drive, like stealth drive. No, that's all right. It's always worth looking, always worth looking. Here we go. So just to explain this screen here, Taleb, this is so the block reward. First of all, there was 50 Bitcoin per block, then it got cut in half and it was 25, then it was 12.5, then it was 6.25. Next one is going to be 3.12. Oof, that's going to be harsh. So while we're looking at this screen, we're just going to get Laura Shitcoin Shin, who actually, because she understands Bitcoin, explaining what we're looking at here when she's having a chat with Dan Held. So take the floor, Laura Shin.
So, you know, as you mentioned, at a certain point when the block reward stops, there will be a transition where miners will be compensated in transaction fees, not in the block reward. And the current amount that they earn is from fees is about 9% of the block reward. And so we'd have to see transaction fees 11x by roughly 2140, which is when the new Bitcoins will stop being minted. But I just wondered, if we don't see an increase in the amount of transactions that can happen at layer 1, because the number of layer 1 transactions is limited. And right now I feel like a lot of the scaling is focusing on layer 2. Can transaction fees 11x in that time, or will that require people to pay a lot more per transaction?
The KPI for for what we're looking at right now, which the question we're trying to answer is, are transaction fees replacing the block subsidy in the block reward? So are newly minted coins, are they, as those decrease, is that value being replaced by the subsidy? And so we can calculate that. That would be our primary KPI. So you could look at transaction fees over the subsidy, transaction fees in a block divided by the subsidy, and you brought up that that's at 9%. If we look at that historically and we make it like a rolling 60-day to smooth it out a little bit, and we look at this over time on a log curve, it's very much trending in the right direction, where 11x sounds like a lot, but Bitcoin moves in really intense cycles where we've all seen it go from 1,000 to 10,000 or 20,000. When that happens, that means there's not an equivalent, but a directional rise in transactions and transaction fees. And so we have seen transaction fees replace the subsidy over time. And so it very much is trending in the right direction to where over the next couple halving cycles, we should see it start to predominantly be the value that is compensated to the miners in the block reward. If Bitcoin doesn't become adopted, if it remains a more niche sort of a service for humankind, where only, let's say 20 million people use it, well, then its long-term security will be weak. If Bitcoin is the world reserve currency that doesn't have a strong security model, like there's not a lot of monetary compensation in the block reward due to transaction fees, well, will that be a bad scenario? Well, it's an impossible scenario, because if it is the world reserve currency, there will be very, very many layer 1 transaction fees.
Okay, yeah. So it sounds like you think it is possible people might consider that because, or rather, it's possible that the amount in transaction fees will maybe not be enough on layer 1 to replace the block reward when the time comes.
There we go. You heard it here first. So he's like, oh, there's going to be many layer 1 transactions. Well, there can't be many layer 1 transactions if there is only a 1 megabyte block size. Absolute fool. But that's why we call them shitcoiners with shit for brains. But you heard it here. Now you know. So another classic one is we've got, this is the entire shit show here. Look at this. So Bitcoin with actually 10.3% of the overall transactions of the entire shit show. So if you want to investigate and do due diligence, you only need to investigate these 10 coins here, because they're literally the only ones that are moving at all. And again, Ethereum has just got all these shit coins on all these tokens, so there's no value in them whatsoever. But we're just going to have a listen to David Schwartz now, who is the Chief Technical Officer at XRP, basically explaining that XRP is a complete security and absolutely fundamentally worthless as money. Take the floor, David Schwartz.
Pleasure to have you, David. All right, so I was hoping you could comment perhaps briefly on this piece of news out this morning. Is Ripple hoping to find evidence that XRP is similar to Bitcoin and Ether and should not be considered a security?
Yeah, I think the primary argument that we're trying to make here is that the market considers them similar. We considered them similar. All of the evidence suggested that they were similar, and then the SEC just comes out of nowhere and say, nope, they're completely different. Ripple's a company. We're based in San Francisco. We have employees. We have shareholders. We have a CEO. I work for that company. I'm the chief technology officer. And it's a company like any other company. It's centralized. What the CEO says goes. There's a board of directors. It just works like any other company. The XRP is a digital asset. It's censorship resistant. It's publicly traded. It trades on the XRP ledger. Ripple does not own or control the XRP ledger in any way.
So how did Ripple then get all the XRP that it has? It has about half the supply. So just how did that particular transaction happen?
The XRP ledger has a very different design from what Bitcoin and Ethereum have, and many other digital assets. Like in Bitcoin, the stakeholders are at least to some extent the miners, and the miners like reap the rewards of the transaction fees. The XRP ledger doesn't work that way. It is not competitive. Nobody's competing to reap fees. Because it's not a competitive system, it doesn't have any way to sort of award fees to a particular party. Because although if it had a way to award fees to particular parties, people would compete for those fees, and it would become competitive. So the way it's design works is when the ledger first began operation, the 100 billion XRP, all that will ever exist, were sort of up for grabs. And lots of people grabbed XRP out of that system, but it just so happens that obviously, just like early miners mined, huge amounts of Bitcoin before the public knew about it or was using it, early XRP users grabbed large amounts of that pool of XRP. And so the people who developed the ledger wound up with, the vast majority of it, and then have been distributing it since then.
There we go. So the developers who developed the system grabbed lots of XRP. So basically they developed it and they took it. That is not a commodity at all. What an absolute joke. We'll just have that one more time, David, because it never fails to amuse me.
Developed the ledger, wound up with, the vast majority of it. And
one more time, come on.
The people who developed the ledger wound up with, the vast majority of it.
Joke. Let's have a look at Bitinfo charts. So we're just going to have a look at transactions here. 3 years, we've gone on a log curve because that's what Dan Held likes. There we go. Look at this. This is Bitcoin. So this is when Bitcoin got its protocol back under a new ticker symbol. But look at this. This is the genuine Bitcoin. And look at the progress and development it has made. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Scaling test network, just quickly, let's have a look at this. So yeah, it's still record-breaking blocks there. It's, I think that's 638 on the mainnet and 5,124 transactions per second on the mainnet. Beautiful. So the scaling test network runs parallel to the mainnet, just to make sure that it's it's like a scaling test network as well as a stress test network, whatever you want to call it. Beautiful. Love that. Love that. Trends.cash, so apps ranking by money spent. TDXP app still macking it hard. 50% of money spent on TDXP app. Oh my goodness me. Apps ranking by performed actions. Crypto Fights up there with 26.2%. Loving that. Run protocol, so that must be the tokens or something. But again, a lot of this we don't know. Well, the other ones we know are TDXP app, Twitch. But that's it. So really, like B Drive we don't know. This one we don't know. BN protocol we don't know, Magic we don't know. So I think roughly, in terms of there's like 80% unrecognized transactions on the network, which if you ask me, I would say it's huge companies like, for example, Worldline, a $3.4 billion company with point-of-sale terminals located in France, testing out the network because Bitcoin, like I said before, is the largest, most efficient, most secure data management system on Earth that has ever been created. So the entire world will be using it soon. It is basically a commercial internet. It's beautiful. Crypto Quant, so we're just looking at all these. So this is BTC, all exchanges reserves. So you can see the exchanges have been cashing out of their reserves because they know it's an absolute bag of shit. This is increasing their reserves at the moment, maybe. Is that because their price is coming down and they're buying back in because they're seeing a speculative opportunity? Who knows? But I mean, they've cashed out almost all of their reserves because they know that it's fundamentally absolutely worthless. So they don't really care. They just simply want rid of it so that they're not holding the bag when eventually the entire market goes to shit, because that's what will happen. What's on chain? So this just proves that Bitcoin is a utility service. Look at this. So we've got 4,360 transactions estimated in the next block, being a 6.45 megabyte block. Current memory pool usage is 15.14 megabytes. Love it. And these are the previous blocks that have just been mined. Lovely to look at. This is what a memory pool is meant to look like, where data comes in, then it gets cleared. 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 This is what a memory pool is meant to look like. What it's not meant to look like is an actual swimming pool. Like this. Oh, what is going on here? What is this? What is this? They're clearing the memory pool of of BTC. So this is Sats Bytes. Still peaks of yellow here. Interesting. We'll have to have a look at. They have to keep an eye on this. But this meme pool has been full, which is an absolute joke shop. So let's just see what this joke shop is actually the effect it has on the network. This is TX Street. Memory pool size. Look at this. They cut it right down. What is going on here? So we've normally seen this in 80 megabytes, 60 megabytes. Look, the memory pool size, 2.7 megabytes. They're normally trying to clear sort of 80 megabytes using 1 megabyte block sizes approximately every 10 minutes. This is interesting. But I mean, look at the median fee, still £2.80, cheap for a core coin, considering it's an absolute piece of pat. But that's $2.80 that you're going to have to put on your cup of coffee if ever you want one. I wonder if it's anything to do with people using Ethereum. But Ethereum here with a median transfer fee of $1.13, still absolutely pathetic when you think they're meant to be cash. But let's just have a quick look at this. What's this? Is there no low fee line? Have people got fed up with using it? What have they done with all the transactions? This does not look natural. They have done something. They have done something. So there's usually a low fee line here on Coolcoin, just like we can see on Ethereum here, but that's sort of like disappeared now. What's going on below? You can still see the transactions being rejected from the block. Absolutely ridiculous because they're not paying enough. Oh, maybe I wonder if they've taken all the. I wonder if they've taken all the transactions out that were below the low fee line. I wonder what they've done with them. I wonder if they've just said, right, yep, nope, everybody has to pay high fees now. There is no choice in the matter. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Let's see if we can go right the way down to the bottom. I mean, look at all these transactions on Ethereum. Look at that. Oh my goodness me. Oh, I'm going to have to find that clip of Vitalik saying that taking the mickey out of Coolcoin when a transaction fees was 5 cents, and yet now here we are on his network chart with a median transaction fee of over $1. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. Anyway, let's from one shit show to another shit show. Let's have a look at our own shit show. Look at the amount of money that has been printed there. So just to give you an idea about how worthless the US dollar is, let's have a listen to Alan Greenspan talk about how America pays its debts.
Are U.S. Treasury bonds still safe to invest in?
Very much so. This is not an issue of credit rating. The United States can pay any debt it has because we can always print money to do that. So there is zero probability of default.
There we go. They can just simply print money to pay their debt, so there is zero probability of default. Well, you know, wouldn't it be great if we could just all sit around and print money rather than having to go to work and break our backs and all this kind of stuff. So now we're just going to have a listen to Elizabeth Coleman to find out whether or not they're actually keeping an eye on all this money printing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Inspector Coleman, you're the Inspector General for the Federal Reserve, right? Okay.
That's correct.
I have a copy of the Inspector General Act here in front of me, and it says, among other things, that it's your responsibility to conduct and supervise audits and investigations relating to the programs and operations of your agency.
That's correct.
So I'm asking you if your agency has, in fact, according to Bloomberg, extended $9 trillion in credit, which, by the way, works out to $30,000 for every single man, woman, and child in this country. I'd like to know, if you're not responsible for investigating that, who is?
No, we have responsibility for the Federal Reserve's programs and operations, audits, to conduct audits and investigations in that area. In terms of who's responsible for investigating, would you mind repeating the question one more time?
The question is, have you done any investigation or auditing of off-balance sheet transactions conducted by the Federal Reserve?
I don't know if you're telling me that you're mentioning that there's losses. I'm just saying that we're not, until we actually look at the program and have the information, we are not in a position to say whether there are losses or to respond in any other way to that particular.
Mr. Chairman, my time is up, but I have to tell you honestly, I am shocked to find out that nobody at the Federal Reserve, including the Inspector General, is keeping track of this.
There we go, and let's do some digging and find out why they might not be keeping track of this. Where would that money be going, and who has got the ability to hide it? Well, let's have Donald Rumsfeld explain this.
How can we seriously consider a $50 billion increase in the defense budget when DOD's own auditors say the department cannot account for $2.3 trillion in transactions in 1 year alone? Now, my question to you is, Mr. Secretary, what do you plan to do about this?
Decline the nomination. Senator.
Yeah, because it's just a laughing matter. $2.3 trillion in 12 months alone. That's like, I can't remember what I worked it out. Something like $6 billion a week. $6 billion. Well, let's just work this out again. Hold on, just so I can store this in my memory. Let's get the old calculator out. So $2.3 trillion. Oh my goodness me. It's a huge number. So that's 300 million. Oh my goodness me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There we go. 300 billion, 2 trillion. Divided by 365. $6.3 billion per day that they can't figure out. $3.6 billion per day. $44 billion per week, and almost $200 billion per month. No wonder he's laughing. Oh, unbelievable. So all that money being printed, is it doing anything? Let's just have a quick look here at the velocity of money. No, it's not, and it hasn't been doing anything since the end of Q4 2007. And as you can see, they stopped recording it here on the Louisiana Fed at the end of Q4 because they were just like, we've had enough of this. But luckily, my spies have been able to show me this. Here we go. Check this out. So this is what they didn't want you to see. So this is even more. I mean, look at that. The money is doing absolutely nothing because it has no value whatsoever. Dear oh dear. So knowing that Bitcoin, genuine Bitcoin, BSV, is the only thing that can get us out of this predicament that we're in. How are we feeling about it today? Oh, 81%. 81%. Feeling good about it. Loving that. Loving that in the 80s. Oh, great. I think a few people must have been in there to upvote this yesterday. Great stuff. People watching my show. Love it. Let's just have a quick look at BitPing then. So this is just people monitoring uptime of various networks around the world paid out in Bitcoin. Close these. Here we go. BitPing, loving this. So countries, what we had, 49 the other day. Are we over 50? Oh, 52 countries. 52 countries operating in this. Look, money flow per hour, $53. So again, that's like, and all these node operators get paid out in Bitcoin. Loving that. Loving that. Beautiful. Looks great. Love it. Morning run. Good to see the 24-hour trade volume below $3,000. This is an absolute joke. Look, Woofy coin. Are you kidding me? Kit coin, Froge coin. Oh my God. Like, so when I say to these techies, look, move fast and break stuff does not mean breaking the law. These are all illegal security offerings. An absolute joke. To stay away from this, people. Dear oh dear, it's embarrassing. Let's have a look at the depth chart on Bitcoin. Oh, all right. So 6.4 million sales effectively asked versus 7.4 million bids. That means there's more buyers than sellers in the market at the moment, which means we're probably looking at a positive price trend. Oh, yep, look at that. Lovely jubbly. Loving that. Let's have a look at BSV versus the dollar. Oh, yeah, going up, going up. Loving that, loving that. Let's have a look at Core Coin versus the dollar in comparison. Oh, I think genuine Bitcoin might be winning. Let's compare the two then. BSV versus BTC. Oh, look at that. Loving that. Loving that. Very much so. Very much so. Oof, great stuff. My little cheeky trade I've gotten with TDXP will probably be in the green. Excellent, excellent. Let's have a look at the shit show now. So we'll have a look at Core Coin over 3 months. Oh, it's up on the day, down on the week, down on the month, down on 3 months. Shitcoiners aren't going to be happy with that because price is all they understand. If it goes down, they're just going to be like, oh no, what's going on? What's going on? You know. Let's have a look at genuine Bitcoin. I mean, look, what a joke. We've got Dogecoin up in 6th. Good grief. You know, what's the so 42 cents. I mean, what I do remember looking at that when it was 0.000, but just goes to show you what we can really expect from Bitcoin when the market actually realizes. I mean, Polkadot, a proof of concept protocol with a market cap. What's the market cap? Of $24 billion, and Dogecoin is even above that. Oh my god. What a joke. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Here we go. Wow, yeah, look at that. Up on the day. Loving that. Where we are on the week. Oh, just slightly down on the week. Down on the month. 3 month. Oh, lovely buying opportunity there. Look at this. Look at this. Who thought we'd be able to pick Bitcoin up going back to like a 3 month low like back in the day? Absolutely amazing. Love it. Love it. Let's have a look at my chat starts now. Oh, my stats in my chart show. 546 subscribers and 81 in the last 28 days. Loving that. Let's have a look at some of my videos. So we'll have a look. Where's oh, look at this. So Ellie Gonsalves, she's now up to 402 views on that video. Stephen Matthews 406. So some people really like Ellie Gonsalves video. Mike Winnett 217. Tom Brady snapping at his heels. Alrighty, alright. Zuby 146, not too bad considering it's just over 24 hours old. Alright, let's have a quick look at my douchebags of Bitcoin series. Here we go. Have a look at my playlists. That's what we want. Mute that. Right, so a Samsung mouse 276. So that's going up. Yeah. Let's compare that to Adam Back that was in the front. Adam Back that was in the front. 270. Catching up on Samsung Mao there. People getting an education about the fact that Adam Back is a douchebag. Loving that. Dan Held, where is he now? 259. Ooh. So people are probably quite shocked by that Adam Back one. Let's have a look at David Schwartz. 177. We'll have a look at these two douchebags from Crypto Banter. Where are they? 244. Interesting. All right, we'll keep an eye on those. Streamanity 284 followers, lovely. Made over $2.40 for my last upload onto Streamanity. Good. Let's have a look at Twitch. Acorn Stacks news. 58 users in the last 24 hours. That's going down when we've seen it over 1,000. Must be the nice weather maybe in the UK. People being outdoors or something going on. Who knows? But You know, my followers 412 heading in the right direction. Thank you very much. Loving that. And here we go. Oh, Ruthie, here we go. Oh, what was that? Oh, just gonna have a look at Ruth Easman there. Let's have a look at her tweet. Are we still over 960? 968. Loving that. Good stuff. Let's have a look at our man Satoshi. Is he at 79,000? Oh, 78.6. That's alright. Still a cracking effort there from our man. Let's have a look at whale alerts. Any crazy amounts of Tether being printed over the last 24 hours, as $1 billion was just simply printed yesterday. What's this? 2021 is set to be a record-shattering year for scammers. We've tracked $153 million in stolen BTC so far and need your help to make blockchain safer for everyone. Report scams and the cryptocurrency-related crimes on our anti-scam website. What about reporting SegWitcoin? You know, for crashing the fundamental value of BTC to zero. You know, a speculative price, dear oh dear. So 4 hours. Oh, I might get through this pretty quick. 6 hours. What's this? Binance USD coin, $145 million printed. Why not? If you can just get away with it and start printing your own money. What a joke. Oh, large amounts of BTC being moved there. 16 hours, we're nearly there. 18. 19. 20. Nearly there, nearly there. Oh, what's this? So we've only had Binance USD being printed. So far 22, and there we go. All right, oh, interesting. Let's just double check that with stablecoin printer. True USD. Yep, just still the $1 billion yesterday. Why not? There we go. Right then, Pete off. 50-minute show today. Hope you enjoyed the show. So we'll leave it there so it doesn't look too off-putting for newbies who are looking at it. You never know. Nassim Taleb might sit down because I've dedicated the show to him and might have had a good look all the way through it. Hope I've explained it well. I hope everyone has enjoyed the show. We're now up to date with the figures. So yeah, until then, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, joy given. I'll catch you guys later. See you soon. Get paid for posting your pics on Relica. Download the app now at www.getrelica.com. Get your tweet etched on Twitch, forever on the Bitcoin blockchain. Do it today at www.jointwitch.com. BuyBSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online. Support independent content creators on micropayment platforms such as Streamanity, Twitch and Relica. We should profit from our data, not the large corporations who track, monitor and sell it. If you enjoy the Bitcoin content that I produce, please support me by heading over to www.satoshi.tv, where you can keep up to date with all the latest news, gossip and content as it's created. Thanks very much. To get started in Bitcoin, go to freebsv.com, where you can claim your free Bitcoin. Then head over to Twitter and follow @IamSatoshi, where you can take part in his very generous and world famous free giveaways. The future of advertising meets the power of Bitcoin at Tonic Pow. Get paid for posting advertising campaigns to your social media profiles. Go to www.tonicpowads.com.